Most millionaires don't get rich by chasing exciting ideas. They built boring businesses most people ignored. This video breaks down 5 boring business ideas that quietly produce outsized wealth. These are not trends, hacks, or overnight wins. They are systems built on predictability, repetition, and demand that never disappears. By the end, it becomes clear why boring businesses outperform exciting ones, and why the people who commit to them stop needing motivation entirely. None of these ideas are impressive, and that's exactly why they work. Local service businesses rarely appear in success stories, yet they quietly produce more millionaires than almost any other category. Cleaning companies, plumbing services, electrical contractors, pest control, landscaping, waste management, and maintenance firms. They all share the same advantage. Demand never disappears. These businesses exist close to necessity. Pipes break, buildings require maintenance, homes need cleaning, regulations require compliance. None of this depends on trends, attention, or innovation. Customers do not search for the most exciting provider. They search for the most reliable one. The reliability creates predictable cash flow. Jobs repeat, contracts renew, referrals compound. Revenue is earned locally, but systems can still be scaled through hiring, routing, scheduling, and quality control. Growth becomes mechanical rather than inspirational. Most people avoid these businesses because the work feels unglamorous. That avoidance reduces competition. When fewer people want an industry, margins improve for those willing to operate it well. Boring attracts fewer dreamers and more operators. Local services reward consistency, not creativity. Showing up on time matters more than branding. Finishing work properly matters more than storytelling. Reputation becomes the primary asset, and reputation compounds quietly. These businesses also survive downturns better than most. During economic uncertainty, people delay purchases, but they do not delay necessities. Maintenance is postponed briefly, then inevitably required. This stability protects cash flow when excitement-based businesses collapse. Millionaires built from local services rarely look impressive early, but in the end, the lady that owns the business cleaning the local gyms is living more comfortably than 99% of the population. Progress is slow, repetitive, invisible. But over time, systems harden, costs stabilize, and pricing power increases. The boredom is the filter. Those who endure repetition accumulate leverage. Those who chase excitement leave opportunity behind. This model favors operators who value process over ego. Results arrive quietly, then persist. With each year, systems simplify decisions, labor becomes replaceable, and income detaches from daily effort. What begins as routine work eventually becomes ownership. That transition, not talent, explains why boring local businesses repeatedly create durable wealth over long horizons with minimal volatility. The next business is even less impressive and even more reliable. Digital infrastructure businesses are rarely noticed by end customers, yet they sit beneath enormous economic activity. Hosting services, payment processors, niche software, workflow tools, compliance platforms, and data utilities do not attract attention, but they create dependency. These businesses win by becoming difficult to remove. Once integrated into daily operations, switching costs rise. Processes adapt around them. Teams rely on them. Revenue becomes recurring, not because customers are excited, but because leaving creates friction. Growth in these businesses is slow at the beginning. There's no viral spikes, no applause, just incremental adoption. Over time, compounding becomes visible. Small monthly contracts accumulate. Churn decreases. Predictability replaces volatility. Most founders struggle here because excitement is delayed. Progress feels invisible. The work is technical, repetitive, and often thankless. That boredom filters out competition and rewards patience. Digital infrastructure benefits from second-order growth. When customers scale, usage increases automatically. When industries expand, embedded tools expand with them. Demand is indirect, but durable. These businesses are also resilient in downturns. Companies cut experiments before they cut infrastructure. Optional tools disappear first. Core systems remain. The highest returns often stem from controlling the essential underlying services, similar to owning the power grid, rather than just one appliance company. This infrastructure inherently captures value across all businesses operating on top of it. This model rewards builders who prioritize reliability over novelty, uptime over aesthetics, and retention over marketing. Over time, maintenance becomes easier, margins expand, and leverage increases. What looks small and boring at the start often becomes indispensable later. By the time its importance is obvious, replacement is no longer practical. Ownership of infrastructure quietly converts patience into compounding cash flow. Because infrastructure is boring, it attracts fewer imitators, less hype, and more rational operators, allowing long-term ownership, pricing power, and quiet dominance to emerge without constant reinvention or public validation over extended horizons of compounding demand globally. The third idea looks old-fashioned, and that's its advantage. Asset-heavy businesses rarely sound exciting, yet they produce consistent wealth for decades. Storage facilities, warehouses, laundromats, equipment rental, parking operations, and logistics yards all share one defining trait: predictable usage tied to physical necessity. These businesses rely on assets, not attention. Customers don't choose them because of branding or innovation. They choose them because the asset exists in the right place, at the right time, and it solves an unavoidable problem. Once a habit forms, behavior rarely changes. Asset-heavy models reward patience. Returns are not immediate. Capital is deployed up front. Cash flow improves gradually through utilization, pricing discipline, and operational efficiency. Over time, the asset pays for itself, then continues producing income without declining marginal effort. Most people avoid these businesses because growth feels slow. There's no excitement curve, no viral moment, no sudden breakout. But slow growth paired with stability outperforms fast growth paired with fragility. These models also benefit from inertia. Customers dislike switching physical services. Location advantages compound. Scarcity increases pricing power. Once an asset reaches high utilization, competitors struggle to replicate positioning without significant capital. Maintenance matters more than marketing. Reliability matters more than storytelling. Operators who focus on uptime, cost control, and incremental optimization outperform those chasing expansion prematurely. Asset-heavy businesses also protect against volatility. During downturns, usage may soften, but demand rarely disappears. People still store belongings, park vehicles, wash clothes, and rent equipment. The work's repetitive. The decisions are boring. That boredom filters competition. Over time, assets become leverage. Income detaches from daily effort. What began as operational work becomes ownership. This is how patience converts capital into durable wealth without trends, hype, or constant reinvention. The fourth business doesn't look like entrepreneurship at all. Owning email lists, owning logistics routes, owning niche marketplaces, owning audiences that are specific, not large. Most people chase products. Millionaires chase access. When distribution is owned, products can change without resetting progress. Revenue becomes flexible. Leverage increases. This is why boring distribution businesses outperform exciting product launches. They compound independently of trends. Distribution creates optionality. It turns effort into leverage. It allows owners to monetize repeatedly without rebuilding from zero. The business itself isn't flashy. The control is. The final idea explains why boring always wins. The most reliable businesses are repetitive. Same customers, same problems, same solutions. They don't require constant reinvention. They require execution. Repetition builds efficiency. Efficiency builds margin. Margins builds resilience. Most people fail because they seek novelty. They confuse excitement with progress. Boring businesses remove that illusion. When work becomes routine, systems replace emotion. Discipline replaces motivation. That's where the wealth compounds. Boring businesses work because they remove the need for motivation. They operate on demand, not desire, on systems, not energy, on repetition, not inspiration. Exciting businesses attract competition. Boring ones repel it. This creates space for patience, for consistency, for compounding over time. Millionaires don't win because they found a secret idea. They commit to boring execution long enough for results to become inevitable. The moment someone stops chasing excitement, wealth becomes predictable. These businesses are boring because they rely on fundamentals, demand, systems, and repetition. They don't look impressive early. They look obvious later. That's how boring wins.